Hello? Is anybody listening? Does anybody watch this shit? All right. Hello. Welcome. It's been a long time. I know. I'm sorry. I know you guys missed me. YouTube is an empty soul without me. To be honest, I get to these points where I'm just like over it. I'm sure everybody gets there. The final straw for me was this war with Iran. I'm sure if you've listened to any of my last episodes, you understand that I turned on Trump. Yeah, I turned on Trump. I betrayed him. He didn't betray us. We, the original MAGA, we betrayed Donald Trump. Yeah, you just get to a point where the amount of gaslighting and opposite land, it's like opposite land. You know, everything that Trump ran on is the complete opposite, as far as I can tell. We all got duped. You know, he cares about Israel more than he cares about the United States. He's even said it. He said that recently. He said, I only have a 32% approval rating here in the United States, but in Israel, I'm like a 90%. Let me find the clip. Dude, that took me way too long to find. It's crazy. Here it is.
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strikes?
He's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want.
Pause. Benjamin Netanyahu is a very good man. The one that's killed 70, 80,000 innocent people. Anyways, continue.
Him to do, and he's a great guy. To me, he's a great guy. Don't forget, he was a wartime prime minister, and he's not treated right in Israel, in my opinion. I'm right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister, so maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%, so that's good. But no, he's a wartime prime minister.
I'm 99%. Congratulations. Like, what are the American people? Where were they seeing any benefits of this? You know? I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but our tax dollars pay for, like, socialized healthcare in Israel. Like, they just go to the doctor and just get everything taken care of, and guess who pays for it? We do. You know, I always wonder... People are probably like, man, all Kevin wants to talk about is Israel. No, I don't want to talk about Israel. But that is the main problem that we face as a nation, is this structure of loyalty to a foreign nation. I don't even care that it's the Jewish state of Israel. I don't fucking care. But it's a foreign nation. Foreign. While our cities burn and don't get rebuilt, while hobos shit in the street, while there's insane amounts of fraud, and just everywhere you look is complete and utter bullshit, we're just sending all of our much needed resources to Israel, including our military now with Iran. You know, the whole entire time that I've paid attention to politics, since I got out of high school or whatever in 2007, the whole time they've been like, you know, obviously there was the Iraq war and Afghanistan and yada yada, but there's always been this talk about Iran. And don't do it, you know? Don't fall for Benjamin Netanyahu's little bullshit speeches like they got weapons of mass destruction. No, they don't. There is zero evidence that they were anywhere near nukes, nuclear weapons. There's no evidence of that. It's all hearsay. And the same guy has been saying this shit for 45 years. Well, lucky for Bibi, we got the highest approval rating for Israel ever, 99% for the president of the United States. And he was just like, hell yeah, we're going to go in and we're going to take out these fake nukes. And we're going to use our military resources to benefit the foreign nation of Israel. Because that's the only people that it benefited. They have this idea of the Greater Israel Project. You can look it up, yada, yada. Iran is a huge problem for them as far as that's concerned. They also, Iran, the reason why those two have beef in the first place is because the Iranians don't like the occupation of Israel, of them taking the state of Palestine and turning it into Israel. Ever since 1948, when they moved in, Palestinians open arms, allowed everybody into their homes. A few years later, those Palestinians try to go back to their homes. They can't. At gunpoint. So then they all get exiled. They keep getting pushed around. They've been getting pushed around since 1948. Everybody's like, oh, well, this all started on October 7th. No. Quit it. Quit with that bullshit. I'm sick of hearing that. That's the stupidest talking point. Like, we have the internet now. Look at history. Like, just add it up. The ancient family of the central banking community is the same ancient family that started the state of Israel. That's all you really need to know to tie everything together, to tie every conspiracy together. That's it. Well, Kevin, why do you talk about Israel so much? That's why. When Trump talked about the deep state and we're going to root them out and blah, 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 we have now discovered who the deep state was all along. And guess what? We're over fighting wars on behalf of them because the whole MAGA thing, the whole Trump thing, all of that, fake, psyop, whatever you want to call it. It's so disappointing. As for somebody like me that followed Trump from, 2015 or whatever, whenever he announced that he was going to run against Hillary. Dude, that was awesome. This was like the first time like I'd ever seen anybody like call out the deep state or just anybody. Like Trump was, dude, it was awesome. But apparently, I hate to say it, the Democrats were right. That hurts, but whatever. They are totally wrong about a lot of things, but they were 100% about Trump. They were right, 100% right about Trump. And trust me, I wish they weren't. But, the amount of wealth that he's tripled his net worth since acquiring this second presidency. And that's not even looking at his sons and all of the drone stuff that they got going on and the crypto. Holy shit. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, here it is. Oh, here's the numbers. Trump is now worth $6.5 billion, up okay, I exaggerated a little bit. Up 1.4 billion since taking office. Don Jr. and Eric each jumped from 40 to 50 million to 300 to 400 million. Okay, that maybe that's where I meant to exaggerate or didn't. What? How do you say that? I don't know. I'm tired. Dude, that's you're talking about the president of the United States that has the ability to manipulate certain things and sign certain bills and give contracts, and he's giving them straight to his sons. Isn't this what the Republicans were complaining about with Hunter Biden, was all of the corruption? But now they're not saying shit since it's Trump? Dude, I don't know what's worse. If it's Trump derangement syndrome or Trump obsession syndrome. This shit has to stop. I still see people that are like on the Trump train. I'm just like, how? Are you fucking blind? Are you deaf? Do you leave the house? Do you ever turn off Fox News? The only way that you could possibly hold Trump to the standards of 2020 is if you're just completely obsessed. Stop worshiping politicians. And even if you do really like Trump, you are the person that should be holding him accountable. The voters, me, my friends, anybody else that vouched for him, Rogan, Dave Smith, all of these people, Tucker, Candace, everybody, the Hodge twins, they were all on the Trump train. This was all a huge like platform of hope. Like everybody, like, dude, the day Trump won this latest election, I was just so fucking happy. I had so much hope. And he joined forces with RFK, and we can get into that shit too. But man, I wish I would have been more. I wish I would have been more aware of the ties with Israel. I hadn't looked into, like, I had heard people talking about, free Palestine and whatever, and the Israel Palestine, but I hadn't looked into it. And ever since I did start looking into it, which was sadly after the election, because it just got to the point where I just kept hearing about it, and I just like wanted to be able to know what it seemed like a big. I didn't realize that it's literally the biggest global thing. Period. You're talking about the global banking elites controlling the entire structure of everything. But sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Let me take a break. I was so happy that Trump won. And then he started appointing fucking news actors as the Department of Defense or whatever, the head of the Department of Defense, Pete Hegseth, like the fucking Fox News actor. But then they're like, the Department of Defense, that's just too pussy. We're gonna change it back to Department of War. And then you, like a week later, found out why they changed it to the Department of War, because then they were going to war. That we went down and kidnapped the president of Venezuela and his wife and shit and brought him back here. God. And then they were like, it's for the people of Venezuela. And then it turned into the oil and yada, yada. But ultimately, that successful mission, if you want to call it successful, I have a hard time with the military stuff. Like, I want to be like, hoorah, yeah, fuck yeah, we're the shit. But, dude, like, innocent people are dying. You know? The Iran war with the school of like 100-something, 180 little girls. That was our missile. What are we doing? How am I supposed to support that organization? That's so fucking sad. So when it's like, when I'm trying to talk about like other missions, you know, where we go and this thing with Venezuela, I'm always like, what's it really about, man? What am I not seeing? Especially now, after we got bamboozled by Trump, everything's a fucking lie. I don't trust anything. What's the real story? But he was successful in kidnapping the leader of Venezuela and his wife, and they used some crazy device. I can't remember, like the discombobulator, which, does it exist? I don't know. They're also saying there's some heart murmur thing that like found these downed pilots in Iran. Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's all fake and gay. But that mission in Venezuela was successful. So then I think he thought that it was going to be like a one and done with the Operation Midnight Hammer, where they went in and used the bunker busters on. They allegedly used the bunker busters on the nuclear place where they make nuclear stuff. I don't fucking know. It's so hard to keep up with the terminology and everything. But when that happened, I'm like, God, Trump, you fucking idiot. They got you. Benjamin Netanyahu dragged him in. And I'm like, and then I came to the realization that they're friends. They are both. Let me put it this way. Trump is only valuable in currency that the founders of Israel control. Think about that. The people, the founders of Israel. Anybody, any rich person, say billionaires. Okay, $1 billion in what? In US dollars? In any currency? Anything at all? Who runs that currency, you might ask? Well, the founders of Israel do, which is the whole reason we've been going into these Middle East wars since 2001. Come to find out, really looking like Israel did 9/11. That's pretty crazy, right? I thought it was like the Saudis, and then we need to go to Afghanistan and watch poppy fields, and yeah, it all makes sense. Once you tie Israel to everything, dude, it answers all the conspiracies. JFK, they had to get rid of him. He was a real problem. As soon as he died, I think Lyndon Baines Johnson came in, right? Huge Zionist. You know, I think JFK was the last real American president, and everything else has just kind of been like, we've been a proxy for the central bankers. It's depressing. That's why I had to take a break. You know, everybody has to take a break. But I took a break, did a little bit of, renovating, trying to get this dialed in. Let me know in the comments if you listen to this. I want some feedback. You know, even if you want to debate or fucking talk shit, like I'm any kind of communication, really. If you want to come on, I'm gonna get this all set up to talk on the webcams and stuff. So if you want to come on and do a webcam with me, or like live stream, whatever that's called. Let's do it. You know, it's not easy to do this, but I force myself to sit here and stare at the that's not nail polish, by the way. That's I fucking smashed my finger. I'm not going like Post Malone or like Big J Okerson. But it's a lot. It's a lot to try and sit here and just like dump it all out too. And like I'm constantly wondering like what do people know happened? How far do I have to explain something? You know? Like, is everybody on board? You know, I bet a year ago or whatever it was when I started doing this, I bet when I started talking about Israel, it was like a big surprise to a lot of people. I bet now it's not a surprise to anybody. I mean, they have the lowest. It's funny because Trump's like, "Oh, I'm 99% approval in Israel," but it's like, okay, good for you. Like Israel's approval rating is like 0. I think the only thing holding on to it is the boomers, and we can get into that real quick. I would like to get into that actually. Boomers like have no idea that they were duped, you know, by their religion, like especially the Christians. I don't think they realize that in 1913, which was the same time, I think it was 1913, all of these things happened at like the same time, right? It was like the Great Depression happened, and then 1913, it was like the Federal Reserve was formed, income tax, all kinds of shit, you know, was set in stone. But at that same time, there was this guy Schofield. I can't remember his whole name, but he made a study Bible of the King James Bible. He went through and did a study Bible, and from what I have conjured up, he is the whole reason why Judeo-Christianity is even a phrase. Before that, Judeo-Christianity didn't exist. So he went in and translated the Bible in some way where it included the phrase that you might hear. I think it's like, those who bless Israel will be blessed and those who curse Israel will be cursed, or whatever. That's not a thing. If you learned that at Sunday school, that's not real. That's blasphemy. You've been conned. The same people who created the Federal Reserve and the income taxes that have gone to Israel over the past 80 years, even before that. I mean, if you go back and you study World War I and World War II and all that, I mean, the whole purpose of getting the income tax was so that we could go into World War I. So that the military-industrial complex, which is probably these same guys, the same oil tycoons, the same gold, pharmaceutical, everything, money, dude, it's all of these people, all these same people. They have been. It's been 100-year plan, and the way that you're able to do this 100-year plan is your family has been around for 4,000 years. I don't know how far back they go, but they're an ancient family at this point. You know, there's a few of them. And the way that they've kept the money in the family is disgusting. So you're talking about the family that probably runs the world and also has zero morals, you know. This is what you get. You get 80,000 dead civilians. You get constant war. You get no opportunity of peace. Zero. They don't make money in times of peace. They have made all of their money off of the fall of Rome till now. Every global pandemic, every collapse of the American economy, that's when they've jumped forward because they were the purveyors of it. It's depressing. But, you know, whatever. If we're going to talk about it anyways. We're at a point where we need the good, strong men to really start standing up. We're in a real bad spot. Real bad. And we've got all of our politicians bought and paid for by a foreign nation. They just completely ignore what's going on in Gaza and what's going on in the West Bank and Lebanon and Syria and everywhere. They just put the blinders on because that same state gives them millions of dollars. Bunch of fucking pussies, man. Like, there's a lot of weak ass people out there that worship the money god. We've got to stop worshiping the money god. If everybody could stop caring about money, we wouldn't have any of these issues. The person, even gold, it's a fucking yellow rock. It means nothing. When you die, is there a bunch of little yellow rocks? No, you don't. Once you pass into the next step, I'm sure there's currency. No. Currency is just a way to control. And the same people have been doing it for thousands of years. You know, it's just, it's so tiresome, I know. But the more we talk about it and the more that talk to your parents about politics. Update them on the current state of things. Debate them. Tell them that you care about them and you don't want them to continue blurting out stupid things. The current state of Israel, the government of Israel, has nothing to do with the Israel of the Bible. Nothing. Quit it. Quit trying to tell us that that's the case. You are old and delusional if you believe that. You were lied to. I'm sorry. I didn't lie to you. Even worse, the church lied to you. And I'm sorry. I know how it feels. There's 5 stages of grief that you have to go through with all of this, but you have to go through them. You have to get past the denial phase. You have to move the fuck on and face the world for what it is so that the rest of humanity can move on and live on a plane of truth. I'm sick of this bed of lies that we've just been going along with. It's crazy. And right now is the most important time to pay attention because we're on the verge of this AI network, neural networks, quantum, whatever, where the people that are helping to carry out the genocide in Gaza and everywhere else, they are the same ones that are programming this network, these programs. Like, oh boy, this is a great idea. Let's let the fucking nerds take over. That'll work out. I've never watched the movies like Revenge of the Nerds, or were they books, or what would they? I can't remember what they were, but does this correlate? Like, are they? Is this the Revenge of the Nerds? They're like, ha 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 ha, we're gonna take over the world. They worship the money god, and the money god wants a control network, even more than money. They want to digitize money so that they can track every cent you use and where it went and who it went to and how much you owe them for being able to be spied on. The flock camera thing, that's pretty crazy. That's a real issue. You know, you need big data centers to suck up all the water so that they can film you driving around and make sure, you know, you've paid up your registration. It's not for your safety. Give me a fucking break. They got flock cameras in Utah where the Charlie Kirk shooting happened. I haven't seen a single flock camera recording of Tyler Robinson or anybody driving around. You would think that would probably exist, right? Let me check my phone real fast. Another thing I'm really sick of seeing is people still thinking that like the left and the right are two different things. Dude, this is another thing with once you just face the truth, you realize it's all the same. They use left and right to jump around across the center line and work towards their goal. You know, like Dave Smith says, according to Trump supporters, George Soros money moves mountains, but the idea that Miriam Adelson's does too is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Dude, that's totally on point. Like, the idea that it's Joe Biden's fault that we are where we are is that's ridiculous. The sooner that everybody can come to the agreement that the left and the right are both the enemy, quit playing these, be team human, be team America, not America, fuck yeah. Not that one, but maybe that one. I don't know. If we could, dude, honestly, if we can get in there and make that, can we get a hold of the South Park guys and actually make a Team America? And that's the next political party that we can, and that like Trump had like the YMCA theme, which was very gay, by the way. I still can't believe that that's the song he chose. Dude, crazy. But if we can just like if the next political party can use that theme song at the rallies, I will show up to I will join the political team. I will 100% join that political team. But let's all come together. Let's admit that the left has good talking points and the right has good talking points. You know, this whole idea like that we have to like hate each other because of abortion or guns or just whatever is ridiculous. Like, let's sit down and talk about it. But back to I want to go back to, you need to help your parents or your grandparents or anybody like let's help get them to let's catch them up to the new world, because they're not scrolling through Instagram and Twitter and you know whatever. They're not keeping up with everything that's going on. They don't see certain posts that expose these people like Mark Levin or Ben Shapiro or just anybody like that. They're not up to date. But the more that you have an open conversation with them, the better off humanity will be. The boomers are the ones I feel like the boomers were the first ones that had a real psyop played off against them. Maybe it was even before that. Maybe it was their parents. But the boomers are the biggest generation, right? And they're the biggest voters. So we need to catch them up to what's current and let them know. They're not going to want to hear it. They're not going to want to hear that they've been vouching for bullshit talking points and they were wrong in their beliefs and that they were duped. Nobody wants to admit that, but just explain to them that, you know, it's happened with our generation too. Like with which is 9/11 and just everything. I mean, Obama, I remember when like Obama, we were like hope and change and like then bomb Syria. It makes no, dude, the left and the right do not matter. The boomers need to know that they were lied to and that what they learned in school and what they learned in Sunday school and just everything that they've ever seen on the news. I think that the TV might have just been propaganda from the get-go. I think I looked it up one time. I think like Raytheon or somebody like literally made the TV. So it could have just been a literal propaganda machine in the middle of your home, a black mirror in the middle of your home since they were kids. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember I had to get up to the black and white TV and change the channel on the dial and blah, blah, blah. And like they know no different. It's just this magic box that showed up in their house and all of the entertainment they've ever seen came from there. And they just trusted that everybody that they've seen report the news to them was telling them the truth. And then now they're still living in that. They're still watching Fox News and they're thinking that like Fox News is the truth network, which is honestly kind of crazy because when Joe Biden was president, there was more truth reported on Fox News. And then as soon as Donald Trump won the presidency, it switched over from Fox News is all propaganda bullshit to now the truth's on CNN and stuff. It's wild. I mean, obviously they still have a bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, dude, they are all the same. Like if you go and you look at the financial records and everything, you will find that the same people own all of these networks. Fox News and everybody, all the fucking same. And they all have one goal, and that is to stand with Israel and expand. You know, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's move on, please. And the sooner that everybody can have honest conversations with their families, like, can we talk about the COVID stuff now? Can we talk about the vaccines being complete bullshit? Even COVID, can we talk about that? We need to move on from that because that's another huge hurdle. Like, I get it. There's a lot of trauma there. But the sooner you realize that was a bioweapon used against the world, the sooner that we can hold those people accountable. I don't even care if it goes through the court system. If you've killed millions of people, dude, like, something's got to happen to those people. This is not a civilization. If these people are allowed to do things like this and continue to live, we do not live in civilization. There's nothing civil about the world's gangs and mobs and mafias and criminal organizations, if they all run the world, we don't live in a civilization. Nothing civil. There's nothing civil about the family that owns the opioids and created the opioid epidemic, and I think they're the Sackler family. There's nothing civil about them not truly paying. I really want to believe that there is a heaven and a hell, and they will pay in one way or the other. But we've got to get to a point where good men are going to have to do bad things, unfortunately. The only way things are going to change is when everybody wakes up to it and we become a united state again. And we come together and we organize. Our Declaration of Independence states that we are to stand up to a tyrannical government. And we have done none of that. I don't know how you'd organize that. They would just call you like a racist organization, like, you know, the what are those? The Patriot Front and the whatever, you know? As soon as there's white men holding flags walking around Washington, D.C., all of a sudden it's like a white supremacist thing. But you have blacks burning down the whole country, and that's called Black Lives Matter, and that's totally okay. You know, I don't think, like, with the racism stuff, like, yeah, there is a lot of statistics that go into it. And it is kind of logical, but it's not humane. But what pushes it the most is that type of representation. When they say, like, they do it all the time. Like, the news will be like, you know, white man kills, whenever there's like a school shooting or just whatever, they can't wait to say white man, even though we come to find out it's like, you know, whatever. But it's always the white man. And if you're in the Patriot Front, and if you're David Duke or David Icke or whoever, you're just this crazy racist. Like, if you're prideful over your European descendancies and your white skin, even though it has nothing to do with it, if you're just white and you have pride for anything, they just demonize that. And I have a feeling that that's a way, obviously it's a way to divide, but I think that there's people that choose to be white in certain situations, and then they choose to be a different ethnicity when it benefits them. And I'll let you figure out what group that might be. I'm going to take a little break here. Oh, I almost forgot. The little group I was just talking about, they own everything. Anything you see on TV, any giant corporation, any bank, any sports team, anything. You can figure it out. This is something that kind of hit the I don't even know what to call it anymore. The scroll. Former Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben Manish says Benjamin Netanyahu is about to release the real Epstein files in an effort to sabotage the peace deal. I thought this was interesting. I mean, we had a peace deal, and now we don't. I wonder why.
If there's a real deal between the Americans and the Iranians, and it's going towards that, Netanyahu will try to sabotage it. One of the ways he'd sabotage it is by putting out Epstein material against U.S. government officials, including Trump. And he put it out there. New material that wasn't seen before in public.
So it's not just Trump. I know that Howard Lutnick is mentioned. There are
And
other
not just
officials.
not just Trump, other officials too. Yes, and he'll try to sabotage the whole negotiation and deal that would be that they're trying to make together.
I mean, dude, it's like obvious. You know, they have something on Trump. Okay, here's the two things. Either they have something on Trump or Trump is literally one of them. It's the only two options. All right, back to some Iran stuff here. I'm going to do my best Trump impression here with this one. Because I imagine there's probably somebody like his assistant or whatever that has the the phone, like here's Trump's phone or whatever, and she just has to listen to this fucking guy. 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to immediately follow. Okay, I don't know his cadence. Should the Iranian government act on its threat, pronounced in many corners of the globe, it's only been pronounced from Israel. It's all insider information, just like the insider information that they were building a nuke, and they've been building one since I was not even on the planet. Pronounced in many corners of the globe to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States. In this case, me. Yeah, we fucking know it's you. Orders have been, and oh, wait. I really wonder why they might want to kill you. Is it maybe because you bombed a fucking school of like 200 innocent schoolgirls and then haven't said shit about it? Tomahawk missile hit the school. Yeah, it was inside of a military base, but come on. And if it was our AI systems, it's still under the command of this motherfucker. So I wonder why they might want to kill you. You know, the American people aren't the only ones that are knowledgeable on your fucking bullshit. Like, these countries hate us because of us. Not us, of the United States government. And what they've done in their foreign fucking crazy nonsense. Yeah, I wonder why they might want to threaten. If the threat is even real. Orders have already been given, and the U.S. military is ready, willing, and able for a 1-year period of time, subject to extension. Dude, the amount of commas this motherfucker has, the comma button on this phone is fucking wearing out. To completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. Praise be to Allah. Dude, like what are we doing? I'm so tired of it. I hope one day we can move on away from the amount of division that's came from Obama and Trump being presidents. But you know, we've had hope before, and So much for that. Subscribe, comment below, like this video. Hit me up if you want to be a part of a conversation with me. I'm looking for more, interactions. Until next time, peace.